Today, I want to talk a few minutes about calling up versus calling out. One makes your team feel like you are against them, and the other one feels like they feel like you are for them. And so it's the difference between calling out and calling up. So when you call out someone, they're experiencing against me and that you are for yourself. Now, this may not be your intent, but this is what they're feeling from you. This is the sense that they're getting from the way that you're saying what you're saying. They feel like you're against them. Once again, that is the calling out. It leads to disempowerment, stifled growth, conflict and drama, and domination. And so none of us want to have those feelings. And I don't believe that most leaders intend to make their team feel that way, but it can happen. And that's the calling out. What we're really shooting for as leaders of teams and building great teams is that we want our team to feel called up, that they are being drawn and called to a higher purpose and a higher reason for doing what we're asking them to do. When you call someone up, they are experiencing for you. They feel like you are in their corner. They feel like you are for them. And that's our goal as leaders. We want our team to feel like they are being called up. This will lead to empowerment. Have you ever felt like you just can't get your team to feel empowered? You think that you are empowering them. You sense that you are empowering them. You feel like you're doing everything you can to empower them, but ultimately they're not feeling empowered. Maybe you're not really calling them up like you're intending to. So it leads to fulfilled potential. You really want to see your team do their best and do what you know that they're capable of. Calling them up is the key. Collaboration. You're going to see the greatest collaboration on your team when they feel like they are being called up. And last of all, they're going to feel liberated. They're going to feel like they're truly adding value to the team and they're being their best self when you are calling them up. And really calling up versus calling out, it depends on the person. And so you have to know your team. You have to know what makes them tick. You have to know their voice and how they are feeling your critique. And it's all about that support and challenge. So if you're supporting them and you're making them feel supported exactly how they naturally feel supported, then they're going to sense that as calling up versus calling out. And then when you have to bring that challenge, know how that person on your team feels challenged. The best way to make them feel challenged without making them feel called out. So whether that's maybe for connector, that is appreciating their value, appreciating their contribution, appreciating their idea before you critique their idea. So there has to be that challenge, that critique that comes, but you can first value their addition, the value that they're bringing to the team, and then bring the critique. And so knowing your team, knowing their voice, knowing how they appreciate challenge, and then how they appreciate support is going to help you call them up instead of calling them out. Such a key to be a great leader and to cultivate teams that collaborate better and really to cultivate employees and team members that are loving what they're doing, that they feel empowered because they are being their best. You have to bring that challenge. You have to call them forward, but you call them up instead of calling them out. And remember, it's about how they feel what you're saying, how they're taking it in, not necessarily how you think you're communicating to them. I know in my experience, there are times where I felt like I was calling someone up, but what they were experiencing on the other side of me was actually, they felt like they were being called out. They felt like I was against them. Maybe it was the verbiage I was using. Maybe it was my tone. Maybe it was the timing of that critique or that feedback. But whatever it was, they felt like I was against them, like I was calling them out. So let me just encourage you to be that kind of leader that is calling your team up, speaking to them speaking to their language, speaking exactly and recognizing how it is to be across from you. That's the other thing that I've realized, and I'm thankful for the 5 voices in my life because it helped me realize what it's like to sit across from Josh. And so many times I thought I was being understood. I thought that it was clear. I thought I was calling someone up. And the whole time they were actually feeling called out. They were feeling like I was against them. And so learning your voice, not being afraid to bring the challenge. That's not what we're talking about. You have to bring the challenge. You have to bring the critique sometimes, but make sure you're messaging properly and make sure you're being understood as you think you are being understood. And so my goal for you in this live and in the videos to follow is to help you create understanding for yourself and for your team. I'm here to help. Please reach out if there's anything I can do, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.